Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. This is Kevin Moon from God's Country. It's time for your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's weather. Now, here's my friend, Dr. Don.
Well, good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia, and welcome to your Friday. We can start thinking about the weekend. I'll let you know if this gorgeous weather is going to continue right on through your weekend. We're also keeping a close eye on the tropics this morning, and we'll let you know about your high school football weather for this evening across East Alabama and West Georgia. That's all coming up in this morning's edition of your primetime forecast for Friday, September 16, 2022. Dr. Don's weather from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. Be sure and go to that link at the top of this video so you can get that cost-free, no-obligation insurance quote and qualify to win some great prizes from Dr. Don's weather and Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. So we're going to talk some tropics this morning, but first let me remind you to head over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, and also click on that little bell so that if we go live for severe weather, you'll be guaranteed to get that push notification. So we're keeping a real close watch on Fiona. Fiona is down in the southern latitudes of the Atlantic and is moving off to the west. That yellow hatched area you see back to the right of Fiona is going to take off to the north. That's going to be a fissure. Not going to be a problem at all for the southeastern United States. But Fiona, we have been getting signals from the long-range models that Fiona was going to take on the same MO as all of the other storms we've seen the last couple of weeks and turn off to the north and eventually northeast and not be an issue for the United States. But in the last 24 to 48 hours, we've been seeing a trend, and that trend has been moving Fiona further to the west. And folks, really the only thing you can take from these long-range models is the overall trend. That's the only thing they're good for. And again, the last 24 to 48 hours, the trend has been to move Fiona further to the west in time, and that begins to raise some concern for the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. So let me show you a little bit better what I'm talking about here. There's the National Hurricane Center official track over the next couple of days. We're talking out through Wednesday. And you can see that we bring it west and then we start to turn it back a little bit to west-northwest. And right now the long-range forecast is to curve it back to the north and then eventually back on off to the northeast. But some of the spaghetti models, and I'm not even going to show them just yet because they're all over the place, but if the trend continues, some of the spaghetti models are beginning to pull this storm back over toward Cuba, and then potentially up in the Gulf of Mexico, certainly over Florida. There's several out there that bring it across the state of Florida, and there are a handful that bring it into the Gulf of Mexico by the end of next week. So we're going to watch this for you very closely and fine-tune the forecast. No issues this weekend. It would be toward next weekend or maybe even a little bit beyond that before we would see this storm if it does get into the Gulf of Mexico. This morning, Fiona is located at 15.7 north, 58.1 west. Maximum sustained winds are 50 miles per hour. Movement is west at about 15. That will probably slow a little bit as we move over the next couple of days or so. So just to bring you up to date, no reason to pull an alarm on Fiona just yet. But we are watching for the possibility of this storm continuing to move off to the west. If the model trend continues, then this forecast cone will certainly get readjusted later on today. Currently at the East Alabama Bee Company, we have a very nice start to your Friday, 61 degrees outside. The high yesterday was 82. We have clear skies. Currently the wind is calm, but occasionally gusting to 2 out of the northeast. Humidity is 95%. The barometric pressure at 30.17. No rain in the past 24 hours. Sunrise this morning is 6:24. Sun sets this evening at 6:47 p.m. Going to be a little warm this afternoon. We hit for 84 in Roanoke, 83 in Ashland, Lineville, Wedowee. Woodland goes to 83, as well as Ranburne, 85 down at Alexander City. Lafayette will top out at 84, and Pine Mountain goes to 83 degrees this afternoon. Here's your 6-day forecast from the Alpha Weather Center. Jamie Dukas, your local Alpha agent. Sunshine, nothing but sunshine all the way through next Wednesday, but you'll see the temperatures are slowly on the rise. We'll start at 84 today. 85 on Saturday, over the weekend, 86 on Sunday. By the time we get out there to next Wednesday, it's going to become much more summer-like with temperatures getting back up into the low 90s. High school football tonight, couldn't ask for much better weather, especially for this time of year. We're talking temperatures in the low 80s, upper 70s at kickoff. We'll get into the upper 70s for certain by halftime. And by the time we get to the fourth quarter, no chance of rain. And this will be the first Friday night since football season started that we're not going to at least have a chance of showers and thunderstorms. So no threat of rain at all tonight. If you've stayed away from ball games the last 5 weeks because of the chance of rain, you don't have to deal with that tonight. So head out there to some high school football and have a good time this evening, and make sure you support your local schools. Southern Union State Community College Live Doppler HD radar. You see that cold front draped across the Atlantic, back across north central Florida and back into the Gulf of Mexico. We have high pressure over Texas. We have high pressure up there in Virginia. All of this combined, and the fact that Fiona is not as strong as she could have been at this point, all of that combined is what's making the models consider moving Fiona further to the west. Now, the model's just a prediction. The model has no, the model doesn't tell the storm what to do. This is just a long-range computer model that says what we think the storm is going to do. But because of these features on the map, the long-range models are beginning to think that we're going to shove Fiona a little further to the west at a lower latitude, moving further west. That's what could potentially get Fiona up into the Gulf of Mexico. And you see no precipitation across East Alabama or West Georgia this morning. All of the rain that's out there is associated with that stalled front across north central Florida. They're off the coast of Tampa, over on the eastern side of the Gulf of Mexico, and a few showers over on the west side as well this morning. Don't forget to follow us over on Twitter. It's at DSTREN1040. We broadcast all of our weather information on Twitter, just as we do on Facebook, YouTube, and at DrDonWX.com. Thank you to Mr. Roger Bell of Roger Bell Auto Brokers and Joey Knight down at Anchor Roofing. These are our partners here on Dr. Don's Weather. If you'd like to be a partner, all you have to do is send me a message on Messenger, and I can have you started by the time we do our very next weather forecast. If the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, that'll be first thing tomorrow morning right here on Dr. Don's Weather.